figure out what's wrong with this thing. It won't crank up and everything seems to be put together, right?
Till I see.
Okay, stop back by. Don't worry about your boy now. He's doing good. It ain't got no gas in it.
Well, hey guys, Backwaters and Backroads here, obviously. Time to take the bus home, take it up to the UP, start working on it. It's still going to be second fiddle to the Beagle Barge, but I've got quite the plan for it, and we're going to make it happen. It's going to be a really busy summer, so I'm going to start it right now for the first time in a couple months here, but I think it's going to come right to life, and we're going to drive it 350 miles home to my house from my buddies here in Minnesota. So hopefully that'll be interesting. Stay tuned. Alaskan beer, holy cow. Okay guys, let's start her up. Let's see if she comes to life. I'm gonna let it. Yeehaw. I love that sound. So I have all this space going north and I am trying to fill it. So I have the solar panels, which a lot of those are going to be for sale. I've been picking up all the good pallets I can find the past couple days. I also got the free love seat, which is going to be either go in this or the Beagle Barge. I've also got a bunch of cans, because you know me, I'm a canner. And I think we might be able to get some closed foam insulation on my way home tonight in Duluth for cheap off of Facebook, so we'll see. So I didn't get home until about 3:30 this morning, but I had to make a stop in Duluth Superior, and let me turn the phone around and I'll show you what I ended up filling the rest of the bus up with. So I told you guys that I was going to try to get a good deal on some used closed cell foam, and I did. It was like Tetris last night in the sleeting snow. The nice fella that I got it from bought this young guy. Here, I'll go around the front and I'll explain this to you. So it ended up being off of Facebook Marketplace. This nice young fella, I'd say he's still in his 30s, bought an old Carnegie library in Superior, Wisconsin, and he's refurbing it. Going to turn it into rentals, and I guess live in it also. And at some point, they had it all insulated with this foam, and he's redoing it. And he sold it to me for $50, as much as I could carry. And in fact, I'm going to go back over and and get some more. Probably empty the bus and do one more trip over. It'd definitely be worth it because building supplies are so expensive right now. But I'm going to insulate the ceiling of the beach garage. I'm probably going to make some pieces that go under the floor of the ice castle to help with that. I can use some of the thinner pieces to insulate this, and then also the ceiling of the deer camp. So yeah, score. Why buy anything new when you can just get it get it used offline? I always hear that diesels are hard to start in the cold. So let's see how it does right now in about 33-degree weather. Ah, piece of cake. Let me give you guys a few observations that I had when I was driving it home, which is really the first time I've driven it for any length of time. For anyone that's thinking about buying a bus, here's my thoughts. I think I got the perfect size. Unless there's a reason to get one of the really big ones, like a 35-footer or a 40-footer, which those are actually more common. You know, like you have a lot of kids, or it's like your only place to live. I mean, it's your primary residence type thing, and you just want all that room. Then I would say those are overkill, and something like this, this size would be better, especially for like 1 or 2 people. I'll figure out exactly what the length is, but I know it says 17 pupil passenger, if that gives anybody any indication. I just call it like a medium-sized bus, but I don't know, what is it, 24 feet? Sounds about right, maybe. But I think it's the perfect size. It's really easy to drive. I had no problem driving it up here from Minnesota. Turning into parking lots, you know, all that stuff you kind of always have to pay attention to when you have a really long load. This really doesn't apply. It doesn't have a big old rear end hanging off the back. I mean, very minor. I could just make really tight corners going into any place I needed to. As far as I can tell, I got about 15 to 16 miles to the gallon, which is as good as my Tundra with the Bigfoot on. So that's a bonus considering how big this thing is and heavy and how much room it has. So that's a good way to go. I know people really like the cutaway vans. Some of them have the, what do they call that? The Duramax in it, which I thought about going that route, but decided to go with this one instead. But I think the cutaway vans are just a little bit too small. They don't have, you know, really enough headroom. So just my thoughts. They might work for some other people, but and what else could I say? I probably have to do, here I'm going to turn the phone around. I'm probably going to have to do a little work to the front end of this one. It might have some worn out tie rod ends or possibly like lower control arm bushings or something. Or it just feels a little sloppy to me. You know, once you get used to it, it's not a big deal, but I can hear a little clunking sometimes when I make really tight corners in parking lots and stuff. So I'm going to, you know, first chance I get, we'll go in there and look around, poke around. It certainly is fine the way it is. If it ends up just being a, you know, taking it up to the mouth of the Huron and stuff, and mostly sitting here on the beach. But yeah, man, I love it. $2,700, and I'm happy I bought it, and I'm really looking forward to turning this into a little camper. So this is pretty much the same model that Steve Wallace just bought, and he's showing on his channel. For those that don't know who Steve Wallace is, it's amazing that you know my channel, but you wouldn't know Steve Wallace's channel, but sometimes that's just the way it works. But Steve Wallace is kind of one of the original van lifers. He made a really interesting documentary like probably 10, 11 years ago now, a documentary length video. And he lives in Canada, and he's got a great personality for this stuff, and he's got like 500,000 subscribers, at least, a couple of channels. And he just got this exact bus, same length. I don't think he has the handicap lift on his, so it might be, you know, a different variation, but it's the same length. It's a Thomas. I think his is a little newer, and he got the if I'm not mistaken, the V65 motor, the 6.0 motor, which I did some research on, and I stayed away from that one. But, you know, maybe he'll have some luck, and he's certainly got a lot more money than I do. But I ended up going with the T444E, as you guys know from the last video. So, okay, guys. I think that, you know, when we get into this build, it's really, this is going to apply to just people that don't know much about this type of stuff. You know, I've never built a bus or a schoolie, and I'm going to be doing it on a super budget, you know, just salvaging materials, obviously, you know, like pallet wood and stuff like that, using a lot of this salvaged foam for insulation, and I've already got a little wood stove to put in it. So, but yeah, it's going to be a real budget build. I'd say, including the price of the bus, maybe $4,000 to $5,000, which, when you really look into it, that's a pretty cheap schoolie build. So, okay, guys, I think that's about all I can say about this for now. But we'll get back to it eventually. I think we're going to move on to the Beagle Barge here. I'm ready to continue that series. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.